Good day. This is a brief commentary on the incident that took place at the Trump rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, and the violence that was visited upon the rally that was in progress. Mango Tree Dialogue views with great regret that this incident could have taken place at a rally where there were many people in attendance and where the former president was giving his address. We must say at the very outset that we reject all forms of violence, and especially violence in the context of the politics of the day. That must be rejected by all well-thinking people. And Mango Tree Dialogues, without reservation, rejects what took place and hope that the country can unite around a better set of principles that can take it to a better future. Mango Tree Dialogues would like to urge all the parties on both sides of the political fence to reject any inflammatory or incendiary rhetoric that can inflame the situation, because already we are in a very volatile period. And there is any amount of blame that any one side can issue against the other. And that is why we urge caution and we urge an abundance of common sense at this time. There is no place for violence in our political life, plain and simple. The Federal Bureau of Investigations, the FBI, has indicated that this was an assassination attempt on the life of the president, the former president. And insofar as this is so, one has to be careful how blame is allocated across the political spectrum, which is why Mango Tree Dialogue would like to urge people on both sides of the fence to repeat, to be very careful of how we assign blame that can lead to further violence down the road. Every person that is involved, especially those that are directly involved in the political process leading down to November, must take this as a caution and to temper any attempt to make the situation worse. They owe it to themselves and they owe it to their country to do everything in their power to ensure that the rhetoric is toned down and that will lead instead to a sense of healing for the nation. I would like to leave with you some words from the Apostle Paul as he wrote to the Christians in Rome, a small community, but yet a very important community in the capital of the world, the Roman world then. A world in a way not too dissimilar to ours, in which there was a lot of volatility, there was a lot of hatred of one group for the next. Those who were poorest in the society, those who were more vulnerable, were not respected. And so we can see certain parallels, which is why I find these words of Paul from Romans to be so significant for this time. I pick up from Romans 9 and verse 9. Sorry, Romans 12 and verse 9. Let love be sincere. Hate that which is evil and cling to that which is good. Be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves. Then he goes on to say, bless those who persecute you. Bless and do not curse. Rejoice with those who rejoice. Mourn with those who mourn. But live in harmony with one another. Do not be proud, but be willing to associate with people of lower positions. And never be conceited. Do not repay anyone evil for evil. And that is particularly important at this time. Be careful to do what is right in the eyes of everyone. And as far as it is possible, as far as it depends on you, verse 18, live at peace with everyone. Do not take revenge, my dear friends, says Paul, but leave room for God's wrath, for it is written, it is mine to avenge, and I will repay, says the Lord. So if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him something to drink. For in doing so, you will heap burning coals on his head. And he concludes the chapter by saying, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Romans chapter 12 and verse 9 to 21. Very applicable words in these times of tension and pain. In closing, Mango Tree Dialogues would like to wish former President Trump a very quick recovery, as he was hurt. And for the families of those who died and their friends, and for the ones who are still struggling for life in the hospital and their families and friends, we wish them all the very best, and that they too will have a very quick and good recovery. We hope for a peaceful time of resolution when all of us will come to that conclusion that in our political process, as we go through the cut and thrust of that process, that we uphold the very important principle that it must be about ballots and not bullets. So I pray that God, in his wisdom, will assist us in making the right decisions as we go forward. May he richly bless you and your family today. Walk good.